I wanted to preface this video by saying I don't think I'll continue playing on 9b19 in the long term. There are various reasons with varying importance, and I hope you watch to understand why this is the case for me. It will come as no surprise when I say that I got into anarchy servers because of Fit MC's videos. He makes great stories and narratives out of the events and interactions of various players and groups on 2b2t. I think his narratives, however, tend to romanticize and build false expectations of what anarchy servers are. I think these expectations and ideas influence how people play and how people try to enjoy the server. Are they trying to make a name for themselves and be the next star, the next influential player, the next narrative for Fit's video? Do they expect these videos or these stories and happenings to come to them when they log into the server? So disclaiming this is important to help consider how these stories, narratives, and beliefs influence our perspective of what anarchy servers are, namely 9b9t. I started playing on 9b9t on June 21st, 2022. I didn't like the idea of queues and monthly subscriptions, so I looked for alternatives and found 9b9t. Going into 9b9t, I knew I needed a hack client, so I went with the most popular Impact and set it up to a minimal degree. I initially was not aware of simple tools like baritone nor the timer module, which made travel quite trivial. In this video, I'll be talking about my first experience, my budding interest and exploration within the server, and my eventual disappointment and downfalls. That being said, I think escaping spawn was one of the most enjoyable things of the entire experience. Equipped with nothing and trying to make it out of quite literally hell on earth, it was a lot of fun and led to many deaths, both from nether traps, withers, and falling through holes. Anyone with any interest in anarchy servers should definitely hop on and try and escape spawn. Build a little home and farm. I think that is enough to get an acceptable anarchy experience. The server itself, 9b9t, is very well managed with low ping, no queues, and respectable server population. I definitely recommend it as an alternative to 2b2t. My first real escape from spawn, however, led me going down the positive X, positive Z axis in the overworld. I manually navigated the erratic obsidian placement from spawn, and I never went to the nether for fear of being trapped. I rejoiced at reaching the 10,000 milestone. I pillaged farms along the way looking for food to sustain me on my journey into the unknown. I admired the scenery left for me from players before me. I found myself placing food, wood, tools in my ender chest in preparation for another death. Yet death never found me. I will say I got incredibly lucky. I found a sizable stash on my first day of playing and got shulkers and shulkers of elytras, kits, armor, totems, XP, everything I could want. I spent the next couple days just organizing and moving all the loot. With my incredible luck, I found I didn't have to do anything. Diamonds meant nothing to me. I didn't need diamonds. I didn't need anything else in the game. I had fully enchanted armor, weapons, and tools. I had elytras to last me months of travel. What else was there to do? I began base hunting. I continued to find small stashes, but none of it meant as much as the first one had. When I was poor with unenchanted diamond armor, bread for food, and no supplies, it just wasn't the same. The bases weren't enough. I think finding others' players' creations were pretty magnificent. There are a lot of creative and talented players on the server, but still base hunting leaves a lot to be desired. I found myself hunting just to pass the time, mindlessly flying through the nether, checking portals, and following chunk trails. I haven't not had success in base hunting, however the rewards have begun to feel less rewarding. Naturally, with kits upon kits, I tried out PvP on the server and spawn. It was moderately enjoyable. I think most enjoyable were those that just fought without saying anything or died and didn't get bothered by you. I found people take territory and status very seriously. It's not enough just to kill someone in a 1v1. You have to further denigrate them. While I understand this is server culture, I just really didn't find it respectable or interesting. Upon asking those that kill me questions or just telling them good fight, I am met with racial slurs and combative responses. So I found out PvP wasn't really for me either. So what was then? What is there to do on these anarchy servers that is fun? Well, I think there's a lot actually, and I think it's a very valid and viable way to play Minecraft. Clearly a lot of people do. But I realized that it just isn't for me, and I'll explain why. What do I value in the games I play? I value my time, my impact, and if multiplayer, my interactions with other players. I think anarchy servers can be incredibly rewarding investments of time if you're willing to put a large down payment of time into it. I think the player interactions wildly vary and can go from very nice, chill, down-to-earth people to raving, racist, and lunatics. Your mileage may vary. I think players are offered great power in impacting the world and impacting the experience of other players. Therefore, 9b9t has all the aspects to be a great game, but in reality, it doesn't really work out for me, and I can name some reasons why. When we do things in all walks of life, all hobbies and activities tend to have communities revolving around them. Look at Reddit. There's a subreddit for practically everything any human being can possibly enjoy. In each subreddit, there's a particular culture and language in which individuals interact and engage with each other. Gym culture often involves encouraging others to do better. It's a place to show off your progress, your journey, and your hard work in order to encourage others to do the same. In rock climbing culture, it's often very laid back and relaxing. No matter your skill level or strength, there are obstacles that are at your level. The Linux community, which can be somewhat elitist, still pushes against these elitist concepts and tries to cultivate a more welcoming environment and appreciation for all distributions, even those among the more user-friendly. Because ultimately, it's about others participating and taking part in the thing we enjoy and spend time using. I want others to rock climb, work out, and use Linux, and so do these communities. So they help those new to the hobbies to get their feet on the ground and get started. And I think that that's where 9b9t fundamentally diverges from my own principles and beliefs. 9b9t is not cultivating. It is not friendly to new players, and new players are actively misled. It's about putting the time in, learning the hard way, and grinding to the top in 9b9t. But understand there's no preconception of these things. Nowhere will you read that 9b9t or any other anarchy server is supposed to be cultivating friendly and welcoming experiences. But I can't personally buy into this culture. I don't want to not trust anyone, nor kill everyone on site, nor keep to myself millions of blocks away from spawn. Nor do I want to be a combative racist who spams chat with slurs and insults. If I can't adopt the server's culture, I don't think I can participate in the server to a non-single player degree, i.e. without playing by myself millions of blocks away from any other player. Adopting culture is how we navigate hobbies and orient ourselves with others that participate in those same hobbies. So understand, I am saying I find myself incompatible with 9b9t's culture and therefore disinterested and incompatible with those that play it. For me, my dilemma is between adopting an unwanted culture or playing a single player mode far away from spawn, or lastly, moving on to other hobbies and activities. I think I want to touch on hacks first. In this server and all anarchy servers, there are no rules. You can cheat as much as you want as long as it doesn't damage the health of the server. So naturally, there's a lot of talk about what is the best cheat client, what modules and settings are best for various situations. And that means that there's a disparity in cheats. If someone knows of newer hacks or knows how to properly configure their cheats, it's a whole skill in itself. But that being said, I don't actually think cheating is an issue. I thought it should be mentioned as another aspect of a time sink and learning curve. My two significant issues in anarchy servers are server culture and the time constraints I feel are required to keep up with others. So first, server culture. I think people are often combative and closed-minded. At first, I thought the racial slurs and insults were only a global chat phenomenon, akin to banter in game lobbies and such. But I realized it didn't stop there. Players generally use slurs and insults even in one-on-one messaging. This toxicity is not so surface level, which was disappointing to say the least. However, I have conversed and messaged very nice and considerate normal players, so not everyone is the same, and enjoyment in the game is about finding the people you like and focusing on them. Secondly, due to time constraints, I feel obligated to play a lot more, to make player interactions, to get more opportunities to make content, or to continue relationships I have made with some players. I can't join a group unless I make myself known and actively reach out and converse with others. I do think once you're established and have a group and have built up that rapport with your peers, you can take a step back from the game. But for me, that initial investment of time is beginning to appear too steep. I have a full-time position coming up, and I can't necessarily say I want to be spending my free time playing on 9b9t. So I realize we all have different experiences, and I completely agree. My experience on the server will not be someone else's, nor will my feelings be their feelings. However, I think sharing my personal thoughts can be helpful in establishing dialogue with those that play the game or are looking to play. I haven't even tried building yet. I can't say I find building as an attractive prospect, but others might. So I definitely encourage those watching to join the server and make their own opinions. Or maybe you've already been playing on the server and you can try to understand my position. I wanted to say some positive things. I loved 9b9t when I started. I couldn't stop playing it. It was an incredibly fun and short journey for me. The environment that Anarchy creates is wholly unique, and the world truly reflects it. The world is in a constant state of flux between the visions of its contending players, and the agency and power laden within each player is really quite palpable. With axe and block in hand, any player can transform the world. I loved exploring, I loved looting, and I loved the positive interactions with wholesome players. I love the collaboration in trading, in exchanging information and ideas. It is truly a ground for creativity and friendship, but is one that I cannot align with, unfortunately. I recommend everyone watching to give 9b9t or other Anarchy servers a try to see if your values do align with the servers.